The Maze Runner by James Dashner, a book review by Khairul Anisha. James is the author of The Maze Runner. James started writing The Maze Runner at the end of 2005. James Dashner explained that The Maze Runner was inspired by a number of things he had watched and read over the years, such as Stephen King movie, The Shining, A Lord of the Flies, and an Ender's Game. He works on the story for about 3 years, facing a number of rejection as well as rewriters. The Maze Runner was written by James Dashner in 2014. This novel talks about a bunch of teens trapped in the center of a terrible maze. They have no idea why they are there or what happened to the world outside, and following of a girl with a message they must find a way out or die. Thomas' character. Thomas undergoes an operation for the swipe so he can be sent into the maze with the other glade. In the epilogue, it is revealed that Thomas was named after Thomas Edison because a wicked agent printed out a hanging light bulb in his mother's house, saying, "You know who made that night? We should call this one Thomas." Thomas, a teen from somewhere unknown, comes up from a large black box that brings him up to the glade. The box brings him up to the surface where he finds that he is in the middle of a large maze. Surrounded by a large group of teens around his age who have lost their memories, as he did, he is in the glade. While the leader of the glade, Albie, is out in the maze, a girl comes out through the same box that Thomas came out the previous day. This could be normal, but this is the first girl ever, the last one ever, and the second day in a row. After Thomas began his training as a runner, a person who runs in the maze, the glade is threatened by the Griever monster who populate the maze, and Thomas chooses to get stung by them and get some answer from the poison that inducts small vision from the past. The gliders decide to have an all-or-nothing attack against the Grievers, where they invade the Griever hole and use a computer in the maze to turn off the Griever and the entire maze. Half of the gliders survive the Battle of the Griever and find a secret slide that leads to a laboratory. There they find Gailey, who tries to stab Thomas but stabs Chuck instead. Suddenly, resistance fighters break in and the gliders are rescued from Wicked. Thomas and Teresa learn there is a plague called the Flay, which is a disease spread across the entire world. They also recovered some of millions of orphans who are sent into maze to try and find a cure from the Flay. The gliders' adventure ends in a hotel-like building where they finally get a good night rest. In my opinion, I think that this book was great because this is mostly like a survival story, and it's about these people called the gliders trying to survive this great maze, and this thing called strangers. All people must try to read this book because it is like an adventure and I can guarantee you to feel like you are in the real games.